So, hello everyone once again. My name is Tatiana and I'm from JetBrains, as Andrei said. And actually, I'm from RubyMine team. I'm a product marketing manager of RubyMine. I used to be a Ruby on Rails developer. It was far away, far a long time ago. It was about 10 years ago or something. But for example, yesterday I did participate in a workshop from Marcin, and it was a really great pleasure to develop again. So I'm in my soul, I'm a little bit developer now as well. But of course, I'm not writing code every day. So I'm very glad to be here. I'm very glad to be here in Wrocław. It is my first time being to Poland. And I'm very glad to start this discussion panel as well, this fight. But before we start, I want to ask you something. And first of all, it's supposed to be a fight, but I'm not sure it should be a fight. Do we really need it? So for me, it sounds like when we're talking about some code editors and some fights, for me, it sounds like this holy war about IDEs and text editors, actually. And when we are talking about IDEs versus text editors, for me, it sounds like RubyMine versus all other text editors. So what I want to ask you, do you believe that there is a war between IDEs and text editors? Please raise your hands if you do believe. Okay. why do we have this discussion panel if you don't believe that we still have something to discuss? Okay, for me, maybe it's a little bit more about some bias, or maybe some stereotypes. So I think that this hour will try to find out where the truth, whether we really have something different between text editors and IDEs, or whether just some stereotypes and legends about them. So, first of all, I want to ask you, what do you think? Do you think tools matter? So, please raise your hand if yes. Okay. So, what from your point of view is the main goal of a great developer tool? The main purpose of the great developer tool? Okay, say it out of the way. I will repeat. Simplifies workflow. Yes? Okay, don't eat resources a lot. I'm feeling like having a stone in my garden. Okay. Okay, what else? Sorry? Avoiding mistakes, yes. More? Less pain, okay. Okay, so it's about making our daily routine more easy. Yes, do you agree? For all of tools. It's about boosting our productivity. Yes, do you agree? So, with the main purpose. And before showing some maybe tips and tricks, I want to show you one picture. Yes. When we are talking about like editors and IDEs, I often hear about something like light and heavy and something like that. So I want to use this metaphor, and I want to ask you, how many of you do have at their homes this light screwdriver? Okay. How many of you also have this variant of screwdriver? Much less. Okay, so another question, do you think that this one, the most simple one, is lighter and easy to use, easy to start with? Yes, I think yes, so definitely yes. What about this one? But what if you are going to, let's assume you go to IKEA. Do you have IKEA here in Poland? I don't know, sorry. Okay.
Yes, we do.
And buy a wardrobe, a huge wardrobe there. So what would you prefer to put this wardrobe together? This light one or this heavy one? Okay. Do you think it's all kinds of screwdrivers that really make these screws? Hmm. I did about 3 wardrobes with the electricity screwdriver by myself. I had no problems, but maybe, you know, I'm not a professional with the screwdrivers. Okay, what I'm trying to talk about is that from my point of view, it is often when we are thinking about text editors, we are more like using this light screwdriver. It's fast to take. It's just light, yes, and we can do something with it. But when we are trying to make like a wardrobe, this one will save our time. Even if to start with it a little bit more slowly, a little bit more difficult, we need a little bit more time to get used to it. Yes, I can't say that you don't need any time at all to get used to IDs as well. But when you're developing on a daily basis, when you work with your code for 40 hours per week and even more, 60 hours per week, I think that you deserve a tool that really helps you. So this is my point. Now I think that I want to show you something about RubyMine, about some cool features that I believe in them. So I want to ask you again, what are the most common features you use in your code editor every day, more often than every other? So syntax highlighting, code completion. Sorry? Okay. Jump to definition. You switching between projects. Okay. What? Code formatting. Okay, yes. Okay, and so this is the most common features. And what features you need badly? What kind of development task you struggle most of all? So what features you miss in your code editors? Renaming. So you're not struggling at all? Oh, you're lucky, guys. Come on, don't you switch in your imagination, making a cup of coffee, I don't know, bring your slippers, something that you do really want from your code editor. Hard to start. Okay, so I think that I want to show you both in RubyMine those features that are most common for you, and also to talk a little bit more about those features that maybe you don't have in some other code editors. So let's start with some syntax highlighting, code completion, most common things. Okay. So actually, I use my tomorrow's app from the workshop. It is not ideal, of course, but here you are. You can see that here it is some React code. Yes, but let's maybe switch to some Ruby code. something that you really work on every day. Of course, RubyMine has its code completion. It can be invoked automatically, or it can be invoked, you can see it here, or it can be invoked with a shortcut. Yes, you can see. You can always search through the list of, like here, through the list of suggestions, and you can use some like 2 letters or camel case. I don't know if we have such methods here, but let's take a look. Yes, like big decimal and something like that. One more thing is that you can also use a help here. For example, if I start typing HTML here and invoke, I can see all the documentation for this method inside this drop down of suggestions, actually. So, like for me, as a beginner, let's say, I'm not, because now I'm like a beginner in Ruby development. It is quite useful because when I'm trying to find an appropriate method, I often want to read about them all. You can also use just start typing, yes, and use enter to complete, or you can invoke auto-completion here and click tab, and this will replace for you the code fragment. Okay. I think that it works similar in all code editors, yeah? Something like that. What is great in RubyMine about code completion from my point of view is that you can that RubyMine actually analyzes all the context around your code. And when we are talking about, let's go to some model here, and something really Rails specific, for example, things. Let's switch here. And for example, we have this validates. Yes, it's really Rails thing. And we start typing. We can see method. We can see all the fields of these models here. So, and we use it here as well. You can see that everything is relevant to your context. So it's not just everything that can be used in your whole project. We are trying to be really accurate with the context. And for example, if we go back to our React, let's say, I can go here and start typing my conference row. I can see that I can see the components here, React components. So it is the main idea for RubyMine code completion, to suggest to you the related content. So it's about code completion. You can actually also use some like a cyclic completion. It means it is not as intelligent as the basic code completion. It just allows you to go through all the names in this file, or more often used variables, something like that. So it's like more lexical-oriented completion. But sometimes it's useful if you, for example, use any local variable very often in this method. Sometimes you don't need to use this basic code completion. You can just use this very quick cycle completion. Okay. So, any questions? It's like a dead silence here. It's a little bit scaring. So, please ask questions if you have. Let's talk about syntax highlighting as well. Of course, we have, let's go back to our conference, for example, or conference control better. Syntax highlighting, and we also have some errors highlighting based on a lot of inspections, based on a lot of practices like and tools like Rake, Rudy, and Ruby Style Guide and everything. For example, if you go to preferences in RubyMine and start typing this like inspections, yes, you can see the huge list of inspections that we already have predefined for you. Like if you go to Ruby, you can see a lot of inspections here. Presentation mode is not as good as, and with some descriptions and with some link from where we actually got this rule. And you can always change them, switch them on or off, or change the severity level, a highlighting color, anything you want to. So I want you to be aware that RubyMine, it is of course a ready product, a ready-to-use product. It is a tool that you can just install during Installation Wizard and start using it. But every time you need to customize it, you actually can do that. So if you know that a lot of text editors users like to play with the plugins and actually making an ID around the text editor, yes, and when I'm asking about why you don't just want to try RubyMine, for example, they often say that there is no ability in RubyMine to change anything. That's like in stone. It is not true. You need to be aware that that just opening a preferences in RubyMine, you can change everything. And inspections is just like an example. But let's go back to our...
I have a question.
Yes,
Are you
sure.
able to share your configs with other users? I'm here.
Sorry?
Are you able to share the configurations with other users?
Yes, yes, you can export it, and another one can import it. Yes, you can do that. You can use this.
For example, if you have Robocop YAML in your project, it's a definition of the code style for the specific project. And what about if you switch to another project which has a different specification?
You can use different profiles here. Can you see this drop down? It's like a default profile, but you can manage them. You can add your own ones, set up, and you can switch them for different projects. Use different profiles for different projects. Yes. Could you, I'm afraid that I may be, yes, could you please just give me an example?
I want to do some Elixir, I want to be able to do it with RubyMine, right? So, do you have plugins like for such cases? Because I know that, I don't know what's the state now, but like if you develop with WebStorm, and you're a front-end developer, you won't be able even to turn syntax highlighting on Ruby code. And that was frustrating for me, for example.
We don't have Ruby plugin in WebStorm, because we have RubyMine for Ruby development. And actually, all the features of WebStorm are available in RubyMine. So if you need like Ruby and front-end development, you are going to use RubyMine, not WebStorm. But another thing about some syntax highlighting, that we have the support of TextMate bundles. And this means that if you want just simple highlighting for everything you want, and we don't have like in our IDEs, you just can import a TextMate bundle and use this highlighting. Of course, for Ruby, if you will like import a Ruby TextMate bundle, we will override it with our own highlighting, because our own highlighting is a little bit more intelligent, and yeah. You can switch it off, but frankly speaking, I don't know why do you need it and why do you want it.
So if there's a front-end developer on my team who uses WebStorm, they actually use it, and they want sometimes just to have a syntax highlighting on Ruby, they can do it.
They can make it with a TextMate bundle.
Oh, okay, because
yes,
they've never managed to do it. Okay, thanks.
Okay, so maybe let's move to a different editor. Who started his race adventure with TextMate? Yeah, a few of us.
Okay.
Do you still use it? No. Is Elia here? I can see him. Yeah. Do you want to show us how you're rocking TextMate and why you still use it in 2016?
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Just could you please give me 1 minute? I will finish just my thought about
Okay,
syntax
so Elia
highlighting.
will set up and...
Yes, I have 1 or 2 minutes need more. I just want to tell you, I was telling more about inspections, a lot about inspections, but I want to show that you also have here not only highlighting, actually, you have also some intention actions. So RubyMine not only highlights errors, it allows you to fix these errors on the fly. So, like invoking just a simple shortcut, I can see some suggestions to fix that. For example, convert single quoted, and I can do it only for this line of code, or fix like all this kind of errors for the file. So I can do that, and all the file will be changed with appropriate fix. So I was... Okay, if I have 1 more minute, I will talk further. Oh, I can.
You ready?
You're ready? Yeah?
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Thanks, Tatiana.
So, yeah. Yes, the question was, there's a discount for TextMate. We have it. Yes, the initial price is 0, and we do 100% discount. Actually, that is for TextMate 2, which is open source, and has been for a number of years already. I don't know how many people knew there was TextMate 2, because I know that some people still is waiting for it. So, okay, so this is the terminal. Okay, the first thing I want to say about TextMate is that it's one of the few editors we have around that allows you to implement your plugins in any language you want. Because if you go to Sublime, you have to do Python. You go to Atom, you do JavaScript. I don't know, I think the Java IDs will need Java, I guess, not sure. But TextMate is very, let's say, it uses the Unix philosophy, and will, for the plugins, it will be just shelling out to some program and filling in some environment variables. So you want to implement it in Ruby, in Python, in JavaScript, in Node, run a C compiler that does whatever you want. The problem, if you want, is that it still only runs on OS X, but that is the reason it can do that stuff. Okay, another thing I like very much is this one. You can open, you can set up some folders to hold all your projects, and then this nice searcher for the projects, and you can get your recent projects or your faves and open up. Another thing, well, I tried other editors, but at a certain point, I found out that OS X was part of my IDE. If you will pass this definition, because I found that OS X embeds some shortcuts from Emacs, and also I found that many shortcuts of TextMate are the same in the whole system. For example, if I go to the terminal, let's say I do something here, and say, oh, let me, okay. I select something and hit Command D. Who knows what this does? Incredible. Okay, Command D, through the whole system of OS X, will put the selection in the Finder. In the Finder, I don't mean the application, but the finding. Okay, so I select something else, Command D, and there we go. And then I can go to TextMate, and there it is, my selection. And that I found out looking through the TextMate menu. And you see that if you still don't know the editor, you can still use it, unlike other editors, which requires a couple of years of practice before starting. And you can start using it in a very simple way. And if you're interested, you can go deeper and deeper. And that was what brought me into staying into TextMate instead of jumping to Sublime or something else, because it is very well integrated with the system, if you have OS X, of course. Another thing I wanted to show you, really simple, is a plugin I wrote, not just because the plugin, I wrote it in Ruby, and because it's very useful if you do Ruby, but because it is possible to write such plugins. This one is to open gems from the current bundle, from the gem file. So I hit Command-Alt-O, and there I get all my gems, for example, rack. And here we go. And I don't know what's your development style, but mine is to always go to the source of the gems and read the actual code. And I have to do that very often. You have a bug, you have anything, you need to understand how it works. And that's it. There's also another cool thing is that we have, let's change something. Okay, I change something and I have source control management, and also if you like GitX to manage Git, you can open directly from the editor. And as you probably remember from the old days when you used to use TextMate, the bundles are really, oh, let's see. Yeah. I was in the wrong program. There we go. Are very, very accessible. This is a bundle I wrote. You have themes. Let's see. So you can. Wanted to. For example, this one. This one is also something I added, which is very useful, and is done. Okay, one last thing I want to show you is macros. Who uses macros in his editor? Okay, they're very useful. Everyone who doesn't use it, if your editor supports them, you should try them. This macro, I registered, I think, manually, and then I exported as a command, and does a simple thing with Alt-Enter, will add a line above what you do with uppercase O in Vim, I guess. And it's very useful. I must admit that one is very useful from Vim. And there was something else I wanted to show. I don't remember. So, oh yeah, macros. So I can push this red button or type Command Alt M and go down 2 lines and add 2 spaces and then go back to the start of line and stop recording and then do that again and again. Of course, this is not the best example, but you get the idea. That's it.
Yeah, very awful. So one benefit, but you cannot see it clearly, is using split view on Mac, and I can put my editor next to my browser when I'm coding. But on this resolution, it looks awful, so it's not a good example of that. But you can do it, and that's why I'm not using RubyMine, because I cannot do it. I cannot put it as a small editor and my console next to my browser. Sometimes I need to just make a quick fix, and I want to see a instant. Okay. If we will have time, I will glad to see how I can do it in the RubyMine, and this is a normal view and not on split view. I don't want to show you my config because it's useless. I can show you any foreign language and tell you that's great, but you probably don't understand that. If someone wants to talk with me about my config or something like that,
You wrote your config from scratch?
yeah.
Yeah.
It took a couple of years
Yeah.
to
know that
finish
pain.
it.
I know that pain.
It's not a pain in the
Yeah.
end.
When I started using Vim, I just git cloned someone's Vimrc
Yeah.
and it was cool, but I don't
But
have
it's
idea.
not yours.
I don't have an idea what I was doing, so I'm not using it. I'm not using that, so I throw everything out and write everything from scratch.
Yeah. This discussion what to use and everything we can do later on the after party. I'm open to it. So maybe some things that I use, and I'm not sure if it exists anywhere else. Sometimes when I worked with a lot very very complicated views, not split it into partial, I like to see where the indentation go. So it's a simple plugin to just highlight the indentation, so I will not get lost in it, where there is a lot of spacing between next paragraphs and so on. But this is not very fast solution on big files that I'm not all I don't turn it on anytime. I don't use arrows on another movement. I'm just jump to the line. It's after some time it gives some advantage because I'm thinking about lines, not about moving. It was a problem in the past where I just thinking about moving to the down, and I just press the down arrow and go to the end of the file. So I started to disabling some things, and I ended with hard mode where you cannot do almost anything. But to jump somewhere, I use also some plugin to jump where to some part of code where I want, and when I hit enter, I get highlight letter DSA, and I can jump to specific place on the file. I not need to jump to some part. I don't want to talk about what Vim can do with text, what to edit, because this you can read in the manual. And yeah, probably there is some tutorial manual for that, and this is only wasting your time.
But could you post somewhere the name of your plugins?
Yeah,
Those which you showed?
I probably somewhere have my whole config, and I will tweet it
Cool.
with Ruby Wroclaw Ruby hash.
We'll retweet it.
Yeah, I will tweet it. I will retweet, okay. And tweet from the Vim. I'm not sure if I can, but I can do in the virtual machine. I configured plugin to just paste the gist to to GitHub to show a code for friends, and this was only one thing that I like here. Talk about anything else is not time for this. I think that's this also can work as editor. We can use anything we want. We can use Emacs. We can use RubyMine if someone wants TextMate, Sublime, and this is okay if we can use it. It's good to use something that suits us.
So I think that a lot of companies, I know that Thoughtbot, for example, have unified Tmax and Vim config for all for our employees, because they have the idea that you can go to your coworker computer and write something while pair programming or stuff like that. So
it's
everyone knows the same plugins, same K bindings. Yeah. So, but I prefer Anarchy.
Yeah, it is better. It's good place when you can discuss the differences and why Emacs or Vim is better.
Everyone likes yak shaving, right?
Yeah. Okay, so what's the advantage with Vim? Why I use Vim? This is a funny story because it was a couple years ago where I have my laptop with 4 GB of RAM. I have one project that I need to compile, and we get a big library with algorithms, and my RAM was not good enough for compile it, and everything's go to swap. So I started using Vim without. I just killed my X on my Linux. So I worked in Virtual Console with Vim because in that moment I can compile everything in the RAM, so it was compiled in 8 seconds. It's better than 1 minute waiting for something.
Considering you're not working on a calculator, what's an advantage?
Yeah, on the calculator, probably shortcuts, macros. Yeah.
You have a computer that can handle modern compiling and everything. What's the advantage now?
Okay, what's the advantage now? I cannot tell you that. I cannot pursue to use it because I just use it for a long time and I'm used to it. I don't try anything else because I'm good with my editor and it works fine for me. And the advantage, maybe if you will do something on server and you need to do something on a remote machine, you probably have FVI or Vim. It depends on the configuration, but I heard that there is machines where you don't have an editor unless you install it. I assume that VI is default on every Unix, and it's only advantage for me working on remote machine. So, okay, there's another question? Okay, that's probably everything from me.
Okay, who's next?
I got the system in Swedish. I'm trying to learn that language and I don't know it that well that I can navigate on my system.
Learn Swedish the hard way.
So, this is one particular thing I want to show you. I tried to look up for a big code base that I can show you the stuff about searching the files for Control P. So when you go to Vim on a normal project and run Control P, you will it will use grep for searching the files. So when you hit it, you can see it's counting the files. It's not that drastic or brutal on Discourse, but on one of our client projects, it's like for me 20-30 seconds sometimes. So I found the stuff on a Thoughtbot's.
Just exclude log file, Victor. It helps. Just exclude the log file from search.
So on a Thoughtbot's blog, I found the program that was called the Silver Searcher, and it uses some multi-threading and stuff like this for grepping. So after we get to the Vim again, You can see it's indexing almost instantly. It's much faster, and you can actually use it inside the Vim with command like grep. And oh,
Close enough?
almost. And the second thing is that when we are using ASLint or some kind of linter for JavaScript, it can be a bit slow when we say file, whole editor just gets stacked. And there is an npm package that's called ASLint-D. It runs as a daemon in the background, and you can use it to lint much faster. But I got my linting destroyed in my system right now because I'm preparing the blog post about linting. So I guess that's it for me. They're really quick tips. And about the OCaml, there are also some crazy stuff to check if your code is correct, or to send the code directly into OCaml interpreter. Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, so basically Spacemacs, I guess I got you into Emacs because I was trying to do Clojure. And in Clojure, there is like a very good package called Cider. And I basically had to use Emacs if I wanted to use that package. And I saw that basically I didn't like Emacs. But previously I used VI, and I thought it was very nice. It fit like my Ruby workflow very well. And I ended up like trying Spacemacs. It was still a very small project. And I started to enjoy it. I saw that there is a lot of features. I didn't have to learn really Emacs. So if you are looking, let's say, to use a more extensible editor than VI, I would try to use it. You'll probably get a lot of bugs, weird bugs, because the editor is more extensible in the sense that you can break the editor very easily. Unlike, for example, VI is like, you have like a plugin system, you have VimScript, which is kind of limited. And I'm gonna share like some features, I guess, of more of Emacs than, I guess, VI, because here you have like full implementation of VI. So I can go to the beginning, to the end of the line. I can press GG, go to the end, go to the beginning. I can go to the 10th line. I can do like anything you can do probably with VI. You can do also commands from VI like ls and like really, whoops. Like you can do ls to see the buffers. But then you would see the buffers, let's say more in the Emacs way, which this is like using a plugin called Projectile. And like everything that, all the plugins that you would use on VI, you have to know what's like the right one to use on Emacs. And that's why for me it was easy to switch like from Vim to Spacemacs instead of Emacs, because I would have to learn all the plugins and everything that people use. So I guess that's it. And so I'm gonna show like some features of Emacs. Like I have this funny one, like that doesn't, oops, I guess it kind of froze.
Is it a feature?
Yeah, no, yeah, it's because there is no internet. Basically, it's like XKCD plugin where you can, the thing is with Emacs, you can see PNG images. Like, as you can see here, there's like a neon cat bar here, scroll bar. And basically, you can only have this kind of stuff because you can view PNGs inside Emacs. And yeah, that's just one plugin. And basically, you have everything that you have on Vim, but you have, I guess, better plugins, I would say. I started using just mostly for Clojure. And then I guess I changed it to use like also in Ruby. It works very nicely, and Spacemac has integration with Robe. Do you any of you use Robe? And it's basically the IntelliJ, not IntelliJ IDEA, the RubyMine, yeah, completion. So basically you can also debug it very easily using Robe, and it's very nice. Sorry, basically it froze because of Wi-Fi, but that's it. What? Evo mode, yeah. Yeah, Ctrl C, Ctrl. Okay, Ctrl G. Ctrl C. Ctrl C, Ctrl C. No. Yeah, it's broken because of Wi-Fi, basically, because it had to load something, but cannot really load anything. And yeah, okay, I cannot show this, but okay, that's it.
Thank you.
So basically, why we are using Atom in our firm? We were a Rails developer firm, which was doing lots of the stuff in the Rails. So most of us, we were using normal Sublime or Vim. But then we have started to work on the React.js, and we were thinking about which the editor to use, and we switched to Atom because Atom has a lot of the plugins and integration with the ESLint and other stuff. So basically, for JavaScript development, I think it's the best tool because you have a lot of things just from the using the Atom. So basically, I will open some. I didn't prepare this one. Sorry. Shit. So basically, we have normal project structure. You can open it, close it as normal editor. And what we like on the Atom is that you can have a lot of the very nice tools. For example, if you are doing the imports from the other files, you will get auto completion and so on. So you can do those things very easily. In the Atom, you can use all the bundles for the themes which you like from the other editors like Sublime or TextMate. It's one thing I don't like on the Atom. It's written in JavaScript, so sometimes it's very slow. For example, when you are searching in the project, for example, for I don't know PDF, and it's just searching and searching and searching, and it's a little bit pain, but it depends on the editor. In the Atom, I hate one thing. There is no way how to sort very correctly because sorting depends on your local setup. So, for example, when you would like to sort the imports by the first letters or something like this, it depends if you are in the Sweden or if you are in the English locale or so on. So, those are the stuff which are not so great, but the linting is very fast in the Atom. So, for example, if you are writing JavaScript or Ruby code with the Robocop YAML integration, it's very fast, like the linting and everything. So basically that's it. I don't know what to say more about the Atom. There is a lot of features with, for example, as I was showing here, you have like live preview of the Markdown by some plugin. So that's cool too. You can have like console and everything. It's basically like any other editor. The switch between the Sublime text, which we were using before, and now where we are using like Atom, it was mostly painless. You need to find some small plugins, but basically, if I look at my my plugins, there is only few packages which we are using, just few of them. So basically the Atom, when it comes to your workspace or when you install it, it already has a lot of the plugins which you mostly need. So sorry. Atom is sometimes cool, sometimes it's not so great.
No?
All right, so basically I will show you just maybe 2 or 3 simple features of Sublime. I won't be telling much about it. So the first one is the feature that I know that there are people who don't know about it. It's basically building Ruby files or compiling or interpreting in Sublime. So if we do something like puts whatever, and we save this file with RB extensions, like here we can do command plus shift plus B, and this file is being interpreted in Ruby, so we don't have to run a separate command line and run Ruby with this file. We can just do command plus shift plus B. If we raise an exception, we also can see it. We got the entire stack of it. So this is the very simple way to run Ruby programs in Sublime. The next feature you can have, if you like, for example, aligning your hashes by arrow. Like let's make this simple hash. Okay, so let's assume we have this simple hash, and when we press command plus shift plus P and we type align tab, then we select some regex and this hash is aligned. So this is quick way to align hashes and actually everything else by just selecting text and writing the regular expression. The next feature you can have is when you want to toggle case or change case of your constants or whatever. You can install some extension like convert case, and this convert case plugin for Sublime lets you toggle case, change case for camel case to snake case and whatever. So if you have some module named like that and you want to have a method inside it written with underscores, so you can use this toggle case.
We can make a crowdfunding for you, Camille.
Okay, sure. Sorry, convert. So as you see, you can just convert case with this simple extension. And the last feature is when you have a file and you make it a Git repository, you can track your changes here. So if you write anything and you add it, so you see that this line were added. When you see diff, you can see what's added. And when you want to commit it, now you see there are no changes. When you modify it, you see that this line was deleted. Something else was added. And now you see no changes. So basically Sublime has lots of plugins you can use. As I showed you, you can build directly with Sublime. You can track your changes with Git. You can convert cases, and there are many of different plugins you can use with Sublime, and that's basically it. Once again, please. Yes, there's something like that. You configure some kind of JSON file that you put in the root of your project, and this file lets you to jump in source. Let me, I have it somewhere. No, I don't think I will find it right now, but there's a way, of course, with plugin. It's not out of the box available. By configuring Sublime with some JSON or some kind of specific file, you are able to jump between classes, methods, go to definition, and so on.
Okay, thank you.